Welcome back to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I am Connor Williams and we are back once again with another 24/7 news report. Like always, we start this news report with our headline news. And our headline news is that Everton are showing interest in Bayer Leverkusen winger Leon Bailey. A host of other Premier League clubs are also interested. And this has come via 90 Min. Firstly, this isn't, shocking news. No Everton fans going to be like, whoa, what the, where's that come from? Whoa. We all know that we're linked with him. We were linked with him last summer, didn't get him. We've been linked with him this summer. Whether we get him or not is still to be seen. But the links are there. Obviously, there's no smoke without fire. I did read before when I was scrolling through Twitter though that Aston Villa are very interested and have bidded 30 million. They had a bid rejected, but now Leverkusen are open to selling him for around 30 million to Aston Villa. I'm hoping this inspires the Everton board, the Everton, Marcel Brands, Benitez, to go, right, 30 million is the go price, put that in there, compete with Villa, and then what it will come down to then is who can offer Leon Bailey the biggest wage, and hopefully it's us, because we're both two teams, the Kazoo derby over Leon Bailey. Neither of us have got European football, so there's none of that to worry about in terms of we don't have it, so we don't have to worry about Villa because they don't have it either. I think it does come down to who can offer him more money and who will offer him more, and obviously more stuff like personal stuff, playing time, the city that he'll be in, all that sort of stuff. But it will come down to money as well. It is worth being said that Villa are having a very good transfer window. They got Emi Buendia from Norwich. He can play cam or he can play right mid. So depending on where they stick him, it begs the question where Leon Bailey fits into that side. But that's Dean Smith's problem, not ours. But it does beg the question, maybe that helps us. Maybe he goes, well, you've already signed the right winger this window. Do you really need me? Whereas we can go in and go, yeah, we've signed the right winger, but it's Andros Townsend. Come to us. We'll have to wait and see though. I really do hope we get him, but we have got other good options, which one of them I'll get into in a bit. But if we don't get him, I'll be a little bit gutted because I think he can bring a lot to this Everton side. I think he's had a good run in Leverkusen, but I think he needs to move on and move up in the world, and we could be that club to allow him to move up. Next, we also have the news that Everton, Newcastle, Southampton and West Ham are all keeping tabs on Manchester United's Phil Jones, who's said to be able to leave the club for a free this summer. That has come via 90 Min again. This one I can see happening just because it's a free transfer and we've already picked up a free transfer and the £1.5 million player. We're sort of going for those value, squad players, bulking out the squad by going for value or undervalued players. I'm just going to say this, I don't think Phil Jones is a very, very good player. I think he's a good squad player. I don't think he breaks into the first team. I don't think he takes Mina out. I don't think he takes Keane out. I'd like to say he doesn't take Godfrey out. I think he would push Mason Holgate for a place though. Obviously, it's yet to be seen whether we keep Mina or not, because reports always say that he's one of the ones on the sell list, but hopefully we don't. But I think he's about as good as Holgate, and he would push Holgate. The one thing I will say is that Phil Jones isn't as bad as you might think, just because I feel like when you play for United or any big club, you have the media presence on you more. An example I'm going to use now is Harry Maguire, went for 80 million. If you believe some of the stuff the media and social media had this season, you'd believe he's had a stinker of a season. I actually think he's had an alright season just purely for United now. Obviously, he's had a good Euros. I think he had an alright season. The stats would say he was very important for United at the back. And without him, they could have been in a lot worse, in a real bad situation without him. But because he's had some moments where you've looked at him and gone, what are you doing? There were a couple where I've seen the footage and I'm like, what are you doing? But he's still a very, very good player. But because, it's United and it's 80 million and it's funny to laugh at, it actually believe it's, he's had a bad season. And I think that's the same with Phil Jones, with the Phil Jones faces of Phil Jones. Would make you seem like the guy's got no idea what he's doing. But he actually is a stable, capable centre-back. Like I said, I don't want him to come in and take the first team spot. But, as a backup, there's worse options out there, and he's a free transfer. Speaking of centre-backs, we move on to Koulibaly of Napoli. And according to the Telegraph, Napoli have said they will let Koulibaly go for half their asking price. So last summer it was 70 million. They said they're happy to half that now. Everton and a couple of other clubs are interested, but no one's made a formal bid. Putting it out there right now, I'd rather Koulibaly, and I think he does push for the first team. I think he'd be a really good defender. I know some people might go, oh, he's getting on a bit, he's 30 odd, but he's a very, very good centre-back, and he would certainly add for this season, the next 2 seasons, would add a lot of quality to us. So, I mean, out of the two, I'd rather Koulibaly, 35 million. We're linked with that Demiral for around the same price. Obviously, Demiral's got age on his side, but Koulibaly's got experience, so it's a toss-up. But he would push for the first team, so I could sort of understand that. Next, we move on to the fact that Everton have reportedly made Dwight McNeil their top target, as they set sights to beat Aston Villa for his signature. That's according to Footy Insider. An Everton source told Footy Insider they are going strong for McNeil this summer. Everton could miss out on the winger though, as Villa are reportedly after him. And Dean Smith's side have cash to spend. Again, similar to Leon Bailey, us and Villa going for a right winger. If they get Bailey, I don't think they go for Dwight McNeil. So I think either way it happens is if Everton get Bailey, they'll go for McNeil. If they get Bailey, we'll go for McNeil. And I think it's half and half on that. Dwight McNeil I do really like. I think he's a really good player. I've seen some people say, he's not the fastest, but he has an end product and a decent end product. And I feel like sometimes, pace and no end product gets really praised in football. People go, oh my gosh, but he's rapid, he's good winger. You need an end product as well. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying, get Robbie Brady, who's a little bit slower but got a great end product. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying you need to find that good medium. If you can get a fast player with a great end product, you're on to a winner. That's a world-class winger. Anywhere, say now this is pace and this is end product, you want him, in the line there. And Dwight McNeil does that. He's not the slowest, he's certainly not slow, but he has a really good end product. I'd be happy with Dwight McNeil. And you guys might disagree, and you will let me know, I'm sure. We also have the news that Everton have put an interest and joined the race for Josip Brekalo. The Wolfsburg forward is attracting a lot of interest across Europe. According to Alfredo Pendola, the Serie A outfit, Lazio, said that they're the latest club to join him, along with Everton. We'll have to wait and see on this one. I don't think we are going to get him. There's not enough links to us and him. Lazio are interested, I think, purely because Joaquin Correa, who I'm going to get onto, might be leaving the club. Everton, I mean, we've been linked with Schick and a couple of others, but I don't think they're sticking. Or shicking, you could say. And I don't think this is one sticks either. I don't think we are going for a Brecalo. Speaking of Joaquin Correa, though, it's claimed from Il Messaggero that the Blues have made significant effort to sign the Lazio forward, as have Tottenham Hotspur. The report says that Everton and Spurs are willing to pay 70 million to sign a 26-year-old, which is below the Serie A outfit's valuation. Arsenal, Leicester and Wolves have all been credited with interest and said to be monitoring the situation. I would prefer Joaquin Correa to Brecalio, who I've just mentioned, and I'd probably maybe not Schick, because Schick's a bit younger and he's had a great Euros, but then that Euros thing. But for Joaquin Correa, is a very good player, very important. I'm surprised Lazio are willing to sell him, and for the price of 17 million, I think he's worth a punt. I think he could bring a little bit. He's a little bit different to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He plays centre forward or anywhere across that front four, and he's a little bit different. He's not as physically and aerially as good as DCL. He's your more good at the ball with his feet, little bit of a dribbler type player. The more technical than the aerial, physical that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is. So he just adds a little bit more when we need something, to change the game plan when we've been spotted and the target is clearly DCL. He just brings a little bit on, and he has that ability to just add a little bit of magic, get himself out of situations, and is known to score absolute worldies on exceptions. So an exciting player. He adds a bit of that South American flair that everyone likes, and he's got a great work ethic as well. Speaking about South Americans, we have that Everton have set Richarlison's asking price. This is from Tutor Mercato Web, and the Blues have said to have been asking for 77 million for Richarlison, which they hope will stop La Liga giants Real Madrid going after him. Obviously, Ancelotti does like him, and Ancelotti wants him, but 77 million is probably a little bit out of Real Madrid's price range because they are in a real tough spot, as are Barcelona financially. And it just means we've got him for the next few seasons. I also think, though, that should be our set price regardless of their financial situation. It's got to be, 77, 80 plus. That's the least I'd accept for him, because we spent 50 million on him. So, we need to see some of that money back, if not, probably double it, hopefully. If we ever do sell him, I personally would like to keep him and see how far he grows, because I think he's got a lot of potential. But if we were, that's a price we should be really asking for. Just to finally say, Everton do play Pumas tomorrow at 11 o'clock UK time. I don't know what that is over in the States, but it is UK time here at 11 o'clock. Don't forget to follow the Toffee Blues for all the news on that game the morning after, so Thursday morning. And obviously, good luck to Everton. We've obviously won the Florida Cup against Millonarios. Hopefully we can go on to win our other 2 friendlies, and then we can come over and hopefully perform against United in the friendly we've got there as well. But that is everything else I've got time for today. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, comment down below on anything I've discussed today. Would you take Joaquin Correa? Would you take Phil Jones? Leon Bailey or Dwight McNeil? Which would you prefer out the 2? Let us know down below, because that seems to be the 2 targets. So let us know, who would you personally prefer? And don't forget, you can follow myself and Toffee Blues on Twitter. Links are in the description as always. And lastly, stay safe, guys.